Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback, to snag that thing 50 times during the 16-game season era. Man, clap it up, man, for Thursday Night Football, man. NFC South. The battle for the number one seed in NFC South, man, is going down. And, man, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a little disappointing. I don't know what the people feeling like in Tampa, but we have some insiders that stays in the city of Tampa, and I know the temperature down there is not feeling too swell. So let's bring them on in. How we doing in Tampa, Dries? How are we feeling about Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Hey,
Buccaneers,
man, listen. Them Buccaneers fans had high hopes today because they had all the offensive wide receivers for the first time today. So they expecting a big game for the wide receivers all being back for the first game, and they end up losing it, man.
Man, they end up losing this game, man. Baker Mayfield, man. Baker freaking Mayfield, guys. I know, man, he's the type of quarterback that everyone grows. He grows on everyone. You like his competitive nature. He has that energy that makes you gravitate to what he brings to the table. But man, before we get into this thing, man, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this right here. The number one seed, the battle for the number one seed in NFC South, man. Atlanta Falcons surprisingly beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-28. And with 4 seconds left in the game, the Falcons goes down and kick the field goal with old man Quillez at quarterback. You know who old man Quillez is. Kirk Cousins. Hey, y'all excuse my graphics and things like that. We had a couple people call off and we had some technical difficulties, so we'll be back, man. It's holidays. People got to travel. People have to do what they need to do. So excuse me. Y'all relax and let's join the fun and have some fun here. But freaking Baker Mayfield, guys. Freaking Baker Mayfield. And I don't know who y'all want to play this game on, but all I can say, let's go over the stats. 29-28. The Atlanta Falcons pulled this off. Atlanta Falcons not even playing for anything right now, everyone. Can you believe this? And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers let this go down like that. All right. Kirk Cousins has a field day on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He throws for 373 yards with ease. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers committed by Kirk Cousins. Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not make Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons turn over the football. Kyle Pitts has a record day.
Let's go, Kyle Pitts.
Let's go, Kyle Pitts. Everyone is waiting for him to show up and show out like he was, like we expected him to be, like expecting him to do, being the number 8 pick overall, number 4 pick.
And number 4 pick.
He looks a little goofy.
You know where he's from too, right?
Where is he from?
He's from North Philly.
North Philly. All right, man. I'm gonna ease up on him a little bit, but you got to continue to keep playing like this, man. I know there's only 4 games left, man, and I think with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, they pick up the slack for Drake London being missed, today, and dang, Bijan Robinson. Woo. Bijan Robinson. Oh, man, he is an animal, man. 19 carries, 93 yards, 8 receptions, 82 yards. He is just one of those dynamic players you are scared to face, right? Put him in open field against anyone. I don't care who you decide to pick on defense, anyone. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, a sleazy 19 for 34, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 key interception. 1 very key, costly interception. And then Mr. Old reliable Mike Evans is back. And he torches the Falcons secondary for whatever, 6 catches, 132 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the inconsistency for me, man. The inconsistency that comes from Baker Mayfield, man. And this is the time of the season you're supposed to show up and play your best ball this time of the season. And like I said, the people in Tampa Bay, I know they don't like what they saw. It started off pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't nothing but the Falcons giving this game away to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Definitely.
It was Baker Mayfield, all that offense was doing to convincingly win this game. This was the Falcons having over 100 yards in penalties and just costly turnovers. That last fumble by what was the receiver name? That last fumble that they recovered and got back, man.
I can't think of his
Look
name
it up.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I think it was number 15, number 1. One of those speedy receivers, man. He made a great play in that last fumble.
Oh, Darryl Mooney.
Yeah, Darryl Mooney. I was happy to see the Falcons recover that ball back, but that was very scary. But man, what I'm saying, how do we feel about Baker Mayfield?
Listen, it's no way in the world that the Buccaneers should have lost this game. And just like you said,
No
it was
way.
19 penalties for 124 yards. And a lot of those penalties came on a third down sack. And like the Baker got another chance to get the ball down the field. And I'm like, yo, the Buccaneers had so many chances to like blow this game away. And they just kept keeping Falcons in the game. Falcons stayed in the game long enough, end up winning it.
On the first drive, I knew this was going to be a long game for Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield missed an easy go-ahead first down. It was like 3rd and 9.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first series of the game. That's when I realized this game was not going to go the way that everyone expected to go for the Buccaneers. And I know, man, I'm a little critical, maybe a little overly critical when it comes to quarterbacks, but that's just the way it's going to be. Let's say what needs to be said. Don't get me wrong, Baker Mayfield, he makes some pretty good throws. He makes some really good throws, but he just doesn't do it consistent enough. And that first third down of the game was the perfect picture of how Baker Mayfield, attacks the game. He'll make some hell of a plays. He'll fight. He's going to go to war with anyone. He's going to try to get the extra yards. He will run. He will try to run the linebackers over if he have to get the first down or to make his team be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not consistent enough,
And then it was a lot of times inside the pocket where it like he's ready to run before, keeping his eyes downfield. Like you were saying, like he wanted to make the big play with his legs, going to run over a linebacker. Like, listen, just stay in the pocket, stay calm, and make the throws. He's like panicking a little bit today.
Yeah. And Atlanta Falcons as well, man. Atlanta Falcons, they were supposed to lose this game just as well, giving up 100 yards on penalties. And then David Sills, man, he dropped a go-ahead touchdown. That play right there in itself was supposed to take the lead, and the Falcons were supposed to not look back from that point. Mm-hmm. But instead, the Falcons didn't get no points in that series, and then they had to kick the ball off, and Tampa Bay expanded the lead by 14 points. And David Sills, he came back and made a play or two, you know what I mean? But that's a wide open touchdown. This is your opportunity to stand up, show out, seize the moment. Act like the Atlanta Falcons don't need Drake London anymore. David Sills has arrived. And, maybe the lights was too bright for that moment, at that moment for David Sills. But man, that was a big opportunity.
He did bounce back after that drop on that, and I think that was 4th down or 3rd down, that long one he caught for the first down to keep the drive alive. Yeah. He kind of did bounce back.
He made a few plays. He made a few plays here and there. Yeah, and it was one play in the touchdown. Kirk Cousins overthrew a little bit. He overthrew it, but it would have been a hell of a play if he would have made it. Let's just say that. And everybody, so we can understand. I'm tough on quarterbacks, and it may seem like I don't like any quarterback out here. Yes, I'm here to criticize the quarterbacks, and I'm here to push them to their greatness. So if they listen to what I'm saying, I'm only pushing them to their greatness. And if they can achieve that, whatever, just be the best you can be. But for the record, I would take Bo Nix over Baker Mayfield all day. Y'all hear me going on Bo Nix?
Are you picking Bo Nix over somebody?
I'm taking Bo Nix over Mayfield all day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mayfield is just another one of those quarterbacks that just leaves a lot of plays on the football field, just too many plays. And Drees, you wasn't here for the last live, and we talked about Bo Nix, and I confessed, and I made it be known, and everybody understands. Listen, Bo Nix is a good quarterback. That's not the question. That's out of the question. Bo Nix is, and he already established himself as a good quarterback. My challenge to Bo Nix is to be that elite quarterback, to establish himself as the elite quarterback, the winner who can go win the championship games, take his team to the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship, etc. So don't get it twisted when I'm talking about Bo Nix and other quarterbacks and things like that. Now, if I tell you they're sorry, they're just sorry. They just sorry. Now, if I say he's not like that, maybe I don't have the confidence that he can pull through in those key situations when the pressure is on. So for the record, I would take Bo Nix over Baker Mayfield. For the record. Now at the same time, watch Tampa Bay draft a quarterback in the first round in the upcoming draft, to succeed Baker Mayfield.
The first round? Not later round?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will draft a quarterback in the first round to succeed Baker Mayfield. They have seen enough of Baker Mayfield. He's given all he has. He has no more juice left. We've seen the best from Baker Mayfield, season after season, over and over. Yes, he's resilient. Yes, he has great energy for the locker room. He can lead a team. All those characteristics a quarterback needs to possess to succeed in the NFL. But he just don't have that intangible, The inconsistency factors, too many plays left out on the football field is what holding Tampa Bay back and Baker Mayfield back. You understand what I'm saying? If Baker Mayfield can hit, how many incompletions he had today? He was almost 50%. I don't know if you can see it. How many? I think what we said. What did we say?
He was 19 out of 34.
19 out of 34. If he can hit seven out of those incompleted passes that he missed, because 7 of those passes are strictly his fault. It's just him not putting the ball in the right places. And like I said, it's only so long you can continue to deal with this and over. Yeah, and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, along with a slew of other teams, are going to be in the draft looking for quarterbacks. But there's only so many quarterbacks to be taken. Now the big question is Kirk Cousins. How do the Atlanta Falcons handle and move forward with Kirk Cousins? Because Michael Penix Jr., it is what it is with him. It's hard for him to be able to stay healthy and stay injury free. So Atlanta Falcons is another team. They have to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft because they can't go into next season saying Kirk Cousins is our starting quarterback.
Right.
What does that future look like?
And that was a question I did have for you. Like, what does this game or the remaining games do for Kirk Cousins' career? Because right now he's like a backup that's filling in. Do you feel like after this game or whatever he does in the rest of the season is going to make him a starter again for some team that will want him to start?
Well, I don't think Kirk Cousins can be a starter from the offseason heading into the season, right? Kirk Cousins is obviously an official backup at his age and at this point in his career. But being that he makes so much money, you have to look at him differently, and you have to put him on a different level as these other quarterbacks, right? But he's still proving that he can get it done. But like I said, the Atlanta Falcons can't go into the next season as Kirk Cousins as the starting quarterback. That doesn't provide a future for the Falcons. You understand what I'm saying? So even if Kirk Cousins is starting next season, they still need another quarterback. Now, Michael Penix Jr., that situation there is just, it is what it is, right? And I don't know what to say about it. Michael Penix Jr., his reputation is what it is, right? He was unable to stay healthy. He's dealt with multiple injuries. And, by the blessings of God, the Atlanta Falcons took a chance on him and, and it came back to bite him. But I don't know. Kirk Cousins is one of those situations, man. It's a very difficult situation. And I don't know how you move forward with him, man. he's a great backup. Don't get that twisted. He's a great backup quarterback. But as far as him being the future, that's a very hard pill to swallow as a head coach or organization or however you want to put it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, Michael Penix. I feel like Michael Penix he got his chance. You know, he had 4 or 5 season in a career. Season and then injuries, and now he got one again. So I don't feel like Falcons going that direction and may come the future. So they definitely got to start looking in the next direction. And still pray for Michael Penix, make sure he bounce back as a quarterback and keep put up numbers. But man, I hate to see that. So many times he got that. That got to be like mentally draining for him as well, because this is not the first, the second, or the third. This is the 4th or 5th time where his season got ended from injury.
ACLs and Achilles. You know, he's been going through it, and he's not a young rookie, right? I think he's around the age of 27 years old. So, older you get, it gets a little harder, man. And that's what it is. But shout out to all the ladies and gentlemen joining in tonight. But ladies, we have to talk, man, and we're going to get into it. But ladies, I need y'all to join into these conversations because it's going to get a little spicy. I need to get y'all opinion from a man's point of view, you know what I mean? Because I'm here to set the standards. I'm here to help this world become a better world, and everybody do right by each other. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, let's go.
But I want to talk about Kyle Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts, man, get up for Kyle Pitts, man. He woke up from the living dead, and he came out there making big plays, man. How about that, man? It's like, man, this guy hasn't had over 100 yards since his first game of the season. I can remember, or something like that. It's a rookie year, so it's just crazy.
3 touchdowns today, man. Just feed him the ball.
You know, I'm telling you, Kyle Pitts wasn't even used to the type of production he got today. I can see it from watching the television. You know, man. He if you didn't notice, he fell on his longest reception of the day because he forgot that he could move that fast, like he was moving. He was wide open, running like he was training. And he was like, where's everybody at? And he started trying to make cuts, and his body was like, okay, you surprising me. You shocking me. Like, okay, this muscles ain't used to all of this in this hyped up moment with all these people out here. Let's just go down right now because you sending my body signals that I'm not used to dealing with. So these signals is going too rapid, so we're gonna fall on
it. Tim Armstrong he know Kyle Pitts, Philly native. He know, man. He from Philly, man.
Nah, the Kyle Pitts, man. I you know me, man. We've been talking about them tight ends, and we've been hitting on the head with Shedeur Sanders, and it wasn't David Njoku who ended up being the winner of all these receptions by Shedeur Sanders, finding the closest target, which is the tight end. It's number 44 because Njoku is hurt right now.
Injured.
And then we got Caleb Williams to what's his name? Calvinston. I can't remember his name. The new receiver, new tight end. Loviston. Yeah. Y'all sorry. I be butchering names sometimes to get a little mixed up. Sorry, y'all. But let's moving right along, man. We got scandal in Michigan, man. Scandal in Michigan. And the one thing I will say, man, you show your appreciation by your actions, not by your mouth and what you're talking about. And for Sherrone Moore, not Sherrone, it's Sherrone, right? So if I say it wrong, y'all just help me correct me, right? And like I said, man, you show your appreciation to people who look out for you by your actions, not by you telling them you are thankful and you appreciate what you have done for you, what they have done for you, right? And you see a lot of that in this world, man. People continue to voice their gratitude, but they barely show it. And I think this is the perfect example with Sherrone Moore, right? He makes John Harbaugh looks like a horrible decision, right? It makes John Harbaugh decision looks horrible. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that nookie That nookie is a man's worst downfall. That is some powerful stuff, that nookie. And then we seen it left and right, back and forth, man. It happens to the best of us. That nookie will get us acting crazy. And Sherrone Williams, he's a victim of this right now, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when the men, let's say men, when men are out chasing that nookie, man, you know, we never think you're gonna get caught, right? You never think we're gonna get caught. And in this situation, Sherrone Moore never thought or had an inclination that he would get caught for having an inappropriate relationship with someone that's on his staff. Why would he do that? Probably because he felt this staff member was easily to control emotionally, right? So he had emotional control over, and it was easy access. This staff member so happened, or allegedly was his assistant. And this is exactly why I say it's hard to believe what someone says. Because, man, people talk a good game, but shows you different. And Coach Moore, Sherrone Moore, man, he played his role to the T. I mean, he put on a perfect persona as the perfect dude for the head coach of the University of Michigan. And let's just listen to a man who loves to divide and conquer. He doesn't have an obligation to us, his culture. He has an obligation to the network. And let's have a conversation about it.
From the Sherrone Moore point of view, you have to look at his failures as well. He failed, if these things are true, he failed his family. Yep. He failed the young men he was in charge of leading and coaching. And he also failed a community of coaches who would love to follow him to get an opportunity to coach at a historically great university like a Michigan, to be amongst the names of the Yost and the Schembechlers and the Lloyd Carrs. That was the opportunity that he had that he failed at. And we also have to think about this young lady who was a subordinate and what these accusations or what these actions will do to her for the rest of her life. Okay. And so now if you're Sherrone Moore, who was the first African-American head coach at the University of Michigan, there's also a community of coaches that would love to follow in your footsteps that will be partly judged because of your actions. He does have to own that. He does have to, at some point, acknowledge.
Partly judged. A group of younger African-American young head coaches will be partly judged because of his actions. This is what Ryan Clark is entangling in his segment. Let's just continue.
That he has to be held accountable for that, whether these things are true and someone was after him or not. And so if you're Michigan, you're truly coming from two head coaches in a row, in Jim Harbaugh and also Sherrone Moore, that has let the university down in some way. It is not the level of excellence that we expect from that position that has a responsibility. You know, in Romans 3:23, right, it says, all have fallen short because of sin and fallen short of the glory of God. So Sherrone Moore will be and will have an opportunity to be given grace by his family, by Christ, but he won't get a Bobby Petrino rebound, right? He will be treated like Mel Tucker. He will be treated like Michael Haywood, who in 2010 was supposed to be the next head coach of the University of Pittsburgh. So I just don't think we could skip over how serious this situation is.
But why, brother? Why? Why wouldn't this black man get another opportunity? Why Ryan Clark couldn't help himself? The first thing, not the first thing, but one of the first things he mentioned, the first black head coach of the University of Michigan. He had to put that out there, of course. You know, he had to set his story up to let everybody know he's talking about a black man. The amount of white men that end up in scandals are much more than black men. But Ryan Clark purposely get in front of a national audience to degrade his own people and work for the masses, man. Why even put this type of energy out there, man? To the black coaches, you know? Why even put that type of energy out there thinking they will suffer because of this? Why is that necessary? Why you can't go up? Why is it so hard to go up there and be like, okay, Sherrone Moore, you made a very idiotic decision, right? We can grow and learn from this, right? We're going to support you, brother, and just positive things through a bad situation. Yeah, it's a horrible decision, and bro, he basically blew an enormous opportunity and opportunity for his future because he couldn't control his lust for women. You know what I mean? And the sad part about it is that he didn't make it past one season as a head coach. But for Ryan Clark, man, it's just how he handles all these situations, man. It's just a bad look because he doesn't care to go up there and get it going, man, and then start race baiting, man. That's basically I didn't want to say it, man. You know what I mean? But that's basically, everybody else says he's doing it, man, and I tried not to fall in that perception of him, but this is what it looks like, man.
And do we know if it's even true yet or not, or it's just
exactly? It's a lot of speculations. He's been detained by the the county police department. You know what I mean, and things like that. But we don't know his side of the story and what all is true. From my point of view, how illegal is it to have a relationship with someone on the staff? Is that, I'm sure that's probably against compliances and the rules and things like that, but how illegal is it? Like where, it's not a crime, But at the end of the day, Sherrone Moore, he knew what he was doing. He thought he wouldn't get caught. Like we all do. But as bad as it sounds, ladies, now this is where I need the ladies to talk to me. Bad as this sound, right? Just because your man get caught up in the situation and cheated a little bit.
You
can't just be talking about you're going to leave your man. Women, just because your man cheated a little bit, you can't just leave your man. This doesn't work like that. Now, of course, there's levels to this cheating that can't be tolerated. I'm not talking about a freaking serial cheater or something like that.
What's a little bit of cheating?
A little bit, you just go out there and getting your rocks off a few times, something real quick. It's a little entertainment, a little enjoyment that you've been missing out on, and it's everybody's cool with it because it was just temporary fix. You understand? So you can't. So that's what we're gonna call it.
I don't think the women not gonna understand that. I don't think the women gonna understand that.
That's why we need to have this conversation. Joanna, Joanna, where we at now? Talk to us. You know what I mean? I need all the other ladies to stand up in the chat.
She said,
you know what I mean?
She said, I'm out.
You know what I mean? But think about it though. Think about all the women that left their men because he cheated. He did a simple cheating. He cheated a little bit. Right? Think about all the women that left their men. Where are they at now? How do they feel? And are they in a secure, happy relationship since they left that person that they had a real good relationship with? And the answer is 90% of the women, the answer is no, especially if you're up older in age. Women that leave their men because of cheating allegations think it's just easy to find another long-term great relationship. And that's not the case. That's really not the case. And y'all think it's crazy. I teach this to my children. And Yeah.
So put the shoe on the other foot. Put the shoe on the other foot. What if she cheat a
Ain't
little
no
bit?
shoe on the other foot. That's what we talking about, women. Ain't no shoe on the other foot.
No, what
You
if she cheat a
do
little
what
bit?
I do. You are not allowed to do what I do. And if you think you finna go out there and do what I do or what I did or I made a mistake and had some fun, whatever you want to call it, now we have some real issues. You know what I mean?
We got
But
the real issues.
you got to understand, listen, we live in one world, right? There's one big slab of land in this one world, right? And it's divided up into countries, continents, states, cities, and all of that stuff, right? Now I'm preaching to y'all. Listen to me. I'm listening. I got some very good common sense, y'all. Listen to me. Listen to me, right? So we got this big old world, right? Then you got rules and laws in all of these different cities, states, countries, continents, so on and so forth, right? But there's only one God. So what rules are we supposed to follow? The rules of our government in the local area? Right? But if I was from Africa, if I stayed in Africa or somewhere over there where they allow you to have more than one wife, it would be okay. So how am I supposed to?
Joanna said that's not fair. Joanna said that's not fair. You could dish it, but can't take it.
Nah, yeah, I could dish it because I'm the king. You see what I'm saying, Joanna? I'm the king. You can't treat your king like that. You can't degrade your king and have your king looking like a sucker out here, right? Nobody wants to make the king look crazy like that. You know what I mean? But everything else is wonderful, right? So you might have some bad situations where something may happen. I'm not saying it happens, but think about that. That little situation happened, but everything else is fantastic. You got no complaints. You got a little bubble over your life. And everything is good. You know?
Tim Armstrong said, if I told my wife I only cheated a little bit, I would be divorced a lot.
See, man, it's about how you go into these things. You got to learn how to communicate and listen. All women have to understand the grass is not green on the other side. That's just simply the truth. Because guess what? Dudes out here these days, they want more attention than the ladies. So a lady going out there thinking that they found him another dude and he's about to tell her how pretty she is and how gorgeous she looked today on their way to on a date and stuff like that. The dude looking like, you ain't tell me I look good today. I look at my outfit.
Look at my outfit,
there, man.
Look at my pocketbook.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, I can understand this situation, man. This is one of those situations that the amount of tension and drama that Sherrone Moore has brought because of his cheating allegations, you know, it possibly could be unbearable to handle. But like I said, when you talk things through and you get to communicating and talking and things like that, I'm not talking past the situation where the police had to come intervene and start detaining people, like that. But if Sherrone Moore, man, didn't mix business with pleasure, guys, he could have cheated in peace. He would have been cheating in peace, y'all. We wouldn't even be talking about this. He just got too comfortable with his side chick because he spent too much time with her. And he felt very comfortable dealing with her. If he understood, that dozens of people was out here to get him, why would he take these opportunities that are chances with his livelihood? Because he talks about people were out to get him.
I haven't heard yet is Sherrone Moore's side of this. And he gets his say into this particular situation as well. And I do know that he felt like people had it in for him for an awful long time there while he was at Michigan. He felt like there were people who were out to get him. So all of these things can all be true. It's possible that, yes, Michigan does have evidence that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. And it could be that Sherrone Moore is right, that people had it in for him. But the whole situation itself is just sad and tragic, because now we have a individual who had his professional life, his personal life completely upended. We have a school with a bunch of players who don't have a coach to turn to right now. We have a school in search of a program, a new coach to lead forth that program. There are a whole host of things that have transpired here that have led this to be a completely surreal, wild situation that if you heard about it, you wouldn't believe it because it almost seems made up.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
don't
not
forget
made up. It's not a movie. It's the real deal. But the biggest hurdle, man, for University of Michigan is and the next head coach is to make sure that quarterback, Bryce Underwood, doesn't leave for more money. You know, he's one of the most talented quarterbacks probably in college football right now. And he's coming off his freshman year. He'll be a sophomore. There will be teams throwing money at him left and right, much more money than he's under contract for with his NIL deal with the University of Michigan. If they let him go, it's over for the University of Michigan. And he came to the University of Michigan because of money. So, you know, he'll leave because of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, also the recruits too. You know, no, I was saying also the recruits too. You know, they got some recruits coming in because they love the coach and everything like that. You know, they're gonna might flip. They might go say second pick now.
Yeah, they don't know who the coach is. They don't know the future. The future is uncertain. But Bryce Underwood signed with Michigan over LSU. And LSU put a lot of money in the table when he was coming out of high school. Michigan came, you know, through with David Portnoy and the Barstool alumni, and they put up a lot of money to win Bryce Underwood over LSU. And that surprised a lot of people. No one expected him to go to Michigan. And I'm sure, man, that money's adding up, man. That money's adding up. And yeah, he's a top-tier talent. And you know who's at LSU? Who's the head coach at LSU right now? Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, Bryce Underwood. Man, all that sounds great, man. That sounds like a top-tier #1 overall draft quarterback, you know, in a national championship for LSU. So I'm expecting this to happen, man. I'm expecting Bryce Underwood to be the man in LSU, man. I don't see no.
Definitely won't be surprised for that.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's Bryce Underwood and the gang out there. But yeah, man, this Sherrone Moore situation is just so tragic, man. And I don't know, man. Either you cheat in peace or you don't cheat at all. You see what I'm saying?
Just cheat a little bit.
You're right. You gotta learn how to just cheat a little bit in peace. And cheating come in all types of sizes and variations. You know what I mean? But y'all let me know. Ain't no women out there that forgave their man for cheating or forgive their man. Like Shady say, man. Shady, what LaShawn McCoy say? He said, I can't trust a man that never cheated on me. Shady's so crazy. And that's when him and Emmanuel Acho got into it. They was talking about Joy Taylor.
My uncle said we never trust a man that never cheated.
All the attention went right on Emmanuel Acho, yeah. But yeah, man. All right, man. So that's Bryce Underwood and Sherrone Moore, man. And more details come out soon because I think he has a bail arrangement or a court hearing, something like that tomorrow. And right now they got the cuffs on him. They're not too happy with him. You can't be messing with their kind in their area and thinking you can get away with what you want to get away with. You got to follow their rules, brother. You're in their part of town. In that part of town. Shedeur Sanders, rookie of the week, baby. 364 yards, 29 rushing yards. He's ran an elite touchdown. He got in the end zone, baby. 4 touchdown passes, man. Yeah. Shedeur Sanders, baby. Shedeur Sanders' performance is starting to do some convincing in Cleveland. Yeah. Kevin Stefanski can't hold him back no more. Can't nobody hold me back. Can't nobody take my pride. Oh, no. Hey, y'all, that's the remix. That's the remix. You know what I mean? But I know, man, at the end of the day, this hurts Kevin Stefanski to his heart to finally name Shedeur Sanders the starter for the remainder of the season. This hurts Stefanski. I'm telling you, it really hurts him.
Why I heard
But
him.
he had no choice. He had no choice but to start Shedeur. After 364 yards, 29 rushing yards, and 4 touchdowns,
And
he
a
had
comeback.
no choice but to start Shedeur. Stefanski put up a good fight, though, man. He put up a good, hard, and long fight. And I don't think this fight, Shedeur would have won this fight. Of course, with the grace of God, he wins anything. But if Dillon Gabriel doesn't have that bad game, then have to miss the rest of the game because of whenever that concussion happened, nobody really understands and knows when the concussion happened. We may never see Shedeur's greatness. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Stefanski probably wins this battle. Shedeur had to play exceptionally well, 364 yards well, that it left no doubt that he should be the starter in order for him to be named the starter the rest of the season. And the crazy part about it is when everyone wants to confront Kevin Stefanski about everything that's transpired up to this point, right? And Kevin Stefanski avoids the tough questions. He can't handle the tough questions. When he's asked, do he think he made a bad decision by not starting Shedeur Sanders early in the season instead of Dillon Gabriel? He avoids it. He doesn't give a straightforward answer. He just tries to, keep moving on because he doesn't want to talk about it. And I don't understand why it's so hard for Kevin Stefanski to admit that he made a mistake going with Dillon Gabriel instead of Shedeur. That's a part of sports. It's a part of us being men and professionals. We make mistakes, we admit, and then we move on and learn from it. So why is this so hard? Because they were colluding, they were sabotaging. What is this about? I don't get it.
I don't know, but listen, man, those even though like Shedeur Sanders put up all those yards, it wasn't no like garbage time yards either. It was all in a comeback and to make an attempt to win a game. Because a lot of times those numbers can like offset you. You down big, you just getting garbage yards. No, he was coming back to win a game.
He led them back. Came back and Kevin Stefanski decided to go for the Wildcat 2-point conversion. You missed all of that. You know what I mean? You was up there having a ball, man, and I couldn't get back on and got down to cover the Eagles, man. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, man, he's good. Like you said, this is not garbage yards. These are not just screenplays that other players are creating. This is Shedeur Sanders creating plays off his talent. And like I said, Shedeur couldn't be denied. But everyone has something to say nowadays about all of the hot topics and things like that. And it seems like some people are just blurting things out, right? And with Shedeur finally being named the starter, my boy Chad Ochocinco, man, sounded a little confused, man. And I couldn't find the clip, but Ocho came out and said he thinks Stefanski is setting Shedeur up by naming him the starter the remainder of the season. And I was just scratching my head like, what? Now he's setting him up. We've been pushing for him to start the rest of the season. We've been trying to get this to happen. Because if this doesn't happen, next year isn't guaranteed for a fifth rounder who hasn't played or have any film. I think just Ocho was hitting that cigar too hard that night, man, to convince himself that had to be true. Ocho was on one that night, man. He sprinkled a little something in that cigar. some of that super powder juice. You know?
Man, like you said, man, he got to put something on tape. So even if he's not with the Browns next year, somebody could be interested. Somebody can get some information because it's all about having information on the player. Once you ain't got nothing on tape, what can you judge him by?
The only option left is for Shedeur to cement himself as a quarterback and play at the level so everyone can see that he's that type of guy. That's the only thing left. So what else would it be for Shedeur to do besides start for the Cleveland Browns? That just didn't make no sense. I just had to bring that up. Like, Ocho was having fun that night, man. But we all know, man, and Shedeur is fighting Stefanski. He's fighting and he's throwing left hooks. He's throwing double, triple jabs and coming through with the right, and he's getting up out of there, because I think Kevin Stefanski really wants to draft another quarterback. He calls his guy. He drafted Dylan Gabriel, he thought was his guy, right? Kevin Stefanski doesn't feel like Shedeur Sanders is his guy. And the guy he chooses to be the quarterback, he wants to call his guy. And Stefanski planning on drafting a quarterback, and Shedeur continues to play as well as he is, Stefanski will be creating the exact same scenario he is dealing with now. Everyone is acting like the Cleveland Browns is going to draft a quarterback. If they draft a quarterback, Stefanski is putting himself in the same circumstances he is dealing with now. Let's just imagine that, right? Let's just imagine the Cleveland Browns draft a quarterback with that one of their first picks in the first round, right?
Which would be a top 10 pick.
It would be a top 10 pick. And of course, Stefanski named him the starter right off the bat. As soon as he's drafted, he's the guy at quarterback. The new quarterback goes down with an injury. In comes Shedeur Sanders, right? In comes Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders outplays this quarterback just like he did Dylan Gabriel. Now Stefanski really looks like he hates Shedeur, because Shedeur had to go through all of this just to continue to show he is better than all of these quarterbacks that are being put in front of him. That is creating the same exact scenario we just went through with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So Kevin Stefanski can't possibly think about bringing a quarterback onto that team next season. That will make no flapping sense. Man. Unless, like I said before, unless some team is out there really amused by Shedeur Sanders and is willing to give up a second-round pick for a fifth rounder. Now, if that's the case and another team is willing to do that, then be my guest. Because now that team has an obligation to Shedeur Sanders. And now that team he's being traded to is his team now. And it's like, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, if Phillip Rivers is out here getting chances, there's no way in the world Shedeur Sanders should get a chance for a team to be a starter.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a starter somewhere, somehow, soon, you know what I mean? And we're talking about drafting a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And what you're doing to your team, right? You already put your team through a hell of a experience this season with no results at the end of the day. No one is confident in the team's ability to win games based on what the coaches was doing. So drafting another quarterback only causes more uncertainty to Myles Garrett, to that defense, to all the players on the team who's trying their hardest to win. Shedeur Sanders is the future in Cleveland, and it needs to be loud and clear. And it needs to be said sooner rather than later, and move forward. Start building around Shedeur. Imagine how many rookie draft picks would love to come to the team and play with Shedeur if he's named the starter, right? Mm-hmm. He would bring not just, he would have the Coach Prime effect in Cleveland, basically. It would be the same exact thing. Shedeur is such a big asset, man, and they won't use him correctly, man. That's just mind-boggling. Mm-hmm. I think at the worst case scenario, Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns has to give Shedeur at least one full season as a starter before they even entertain drafting at the position. To me, the concern comes at the backup position. Can Dylan Gabriel hold it down as the backup? That's the concern. It's not about Shedeur. Mm-hmm.
Where that put Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson on his comeback.
I forget about Deshaun Watson. Oh Lord, yeah, Deshaun Watson the back. How is he gonna be a $26 million backup? Well, we just saw Kirk Cousins the backup. Oh yeah, man. This Deshaun Watson thing is the X factor, man. This is going. It'd be hard, man, for them to say, Deshaun Watson doesn't have a spot on this team, or he's not able to compete for a spot, and he makes $26 million. But for right now, we don't have an answer for Deshaun Watson. So right now, we have to think about what we have, and that's Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, if there is a competition, it only should be Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. And that makes my point even much more escalated. It's like drafting another quarterback. There is not one quarterback in this draft that I watched in college football that is better than Shedeur. There is not one player that I've seen that can come to the Cleveland Browns and do a better job than Shedeur. I don't understand how this is becoming a thing and everyone acting like Mendoza is the guy for the Cleveland Browns and pretty much every team. You know what I mean? Maybe he is, but I don't think he's better than Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. But if Kevin Stefanski wants to draft a quarterback, it needs to be in the 3rd round or in the latter rounds. You know what I mean? Way in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. You know, it can't be in the first one or 2 rounds. You know what I mean? Right. That's an option. That's an option. But Shedeur has to play next season without any possibilities of someone taking his spot or being replaced, and same things that transpired this season. He needs to feel that confidence as a starting quarterback so he can rally the team out and change the energy in Cleveland. If they want to do something different, that's what needs to happen. And yeah, we can't wait to see. We are coming up this weekend. Cleveland Browns they face the Chicago Bears. It's a tricky defense. I think they're the #1 team in turnovers and takeaways. So it's going to get a little tricky out there. He's going to have a lot of challenges coming up and that he's faced with ahead. And yeah, man, shout out to the chat, man. I've seen a few super chats in the comments in the chat section. We got to get to the chat. Shout out to Jodu S8W, man. He said this is my boy Bruce. Okay, shout out to my boy Bruce. Go Pats, man. Hey, one thing about them Pats, man, I think they may be the favorite. I think the Pats can pull it off. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I like the Patriots to beat the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I like the Patriots to beat the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship.
They got a big game this week versus the Bills. This can lock up the AFC North right now. This weekend, they can lock it up, beating the Bills.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, and we're going to talk about it on Sunday and see who clinches. And it's like, I forgot to talk about the NFC North. It's the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs is going to be very shocking. Now, don't get it twisted. They've been to the Super Bowl. I played against them in the Super Bowl back in the days, 2003, 2004. So they just had a long drought. And then, Cam Newton came along and things like that. But yeah, man, we'll see, man. We'll see how the Patriots, see if they can go all the way, man, and get back to glory since Tom Brady isn't there anymore. You know what I mean? But Drees he's going to hit the streets tomorrow. He's going to hit a few bars, seize the temperature out there in Tampa. See if how many people are highly upset at themselves because of Baker Mayfield throwing these last-minute interceptions. He can't see the underneath dropper and things like that.
Honestly, in Tampa, it's honestly kind of like hard to find Tampa fans. It's like such a mixing pot that you got fans from everywhere. It's like Tom Brady made the Tampa fans come out a little bit more, but they're not out as much as anymore. Honestly,
that's right. That's the Florida thing. That's the Florida in us, man. It's hard to get this Florida people out and support and celebrate and sell out every week like teams, new in New England, Green Bay, Chicago. Florida's just a little different. We all, we hear that everywhere. But yeah, man, it's Thursday night vibes, man. We was rocking out, man. I had fun with y'all tonight, man, and hope I ain't missing any more of the super chats before we get up out of here, man. And yeah, what do we think, man? Anybody have the Super Bowl favorites besides the Patriots? We talked about the Patriots. You know what I mean? I think it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. It could be anyone. This is the year that any team can possibly end up being a Super Bowl champion. So
that's how I feel.
You say Jags selling out now. The Jags selling out, like selling out the stadium.
I was just at the Jags game on Sunday.
Yeah, was it packed?
No, it wasn't packed.
Oh, yeah.
But they was going hard for their team, but it wasn't packed.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. The Jazz, winning games, man. Yeah, they winning games now, man. And Trevor Lawrence, I don't know how much Trevor Lawrence. It's that new receiver, Jacoby Myers, man. That was a good pickup for them, man. And he's showing up big, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is Thursday night vibes, man. We had fun rocking out with y'all tonight, man. Can't believe Baker Mayfield let Tampa Bay Buccaneers down, man. And he let old man Quiles, Kirk Cousins, throw for almost 400 yards on that defense and get the victory. After 16 penalties and 115 or something
19
yards.
penalties. This is like the most in 20 years, something like that.
Man, how do you lose that game? It's like every big play the Atlanta Falcons came up with got called back. But Sean Robinson had multiple big plays. There were big pass opportunities that got called back. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers still lose the game. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of Todd Bowles. He does a good job on defense, you know what I mean? But maybe, I don't know. Since he become a head coach, he was the defensive coordinator when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's like some of these coordinators becoming head coaches just can't get the job done. I don't know if it's he's a little dry guy. Like he doesn't give you that energy or that spark, man. I need a coach to get me motivated, give me that energy. Good play, Asante. Good job. No, man, get excited with me, man. But yeah, man, we ain't gonna hold y'all up no longer, man. I'm your boy, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel.
It's your boy 2-3 Drees.
And we're gonna see y'all, man, this weekend, man. And got the college football and all that's going on. But we'll talk to y'all later, man. Sunday, if not tomorrow or Saturday. We are